Hello students, I am Dr. Avnish Kumar Singh from Ambalika Institute of Management and Technology, Lucknow. Here we are going to discuss module 3 quantum mechanics of the subject physics, and our main topic is black body radiation. Now, the outcome of this session, after studying this session, a student will able to differentiate between classical physics and quantum physics, clarify Kirchhoff law and characteristics of quantum physics, explain the working of black body radiation experiment and describe the various characteristics of black body spectrum. Now, first of all, we have to understand the difference between the classical and quantum mechanics. By this figure, we are going to understand the you can say development of physics with the time. When we talk about the classical physics, we mean the Newtonian physics. Up to here 10 plus 2, the students have studied the physics that belong to classical physics. Now, the classical physics that concerned with the object which are macroscopic, generally macroscopic, that is the larger size than 10 to power 9, generally more macroscopic than this one, and having less speed than velocity of light. When we talk about the less speed of the velocity of light, that means velocity should not be of the order of the velocity of light. It should be almost less than 3.14 into 10 to power 7 meter per second. So, if object having these characteristics, size is larger and the speed is small, comparatively small, then the problem deals with the classical mechanics, and these problem can be solved with the help of Newton's law of motion. Next, if this size become lesser, then the classical physics approach and formula become fails out, and the new need of formula that is given by the quantum mechanics. Number of scientists are involved to develop the quantum mechanics. We will study in this session. Two other you will study in the module 1, that is if speed of object is very much comparable to the speed of light, again the approach and formula and physics of the classical physics fails out, and there is a need of new approach, that is relativistic mechanics, and that is developed by Einstein. If both the condition follow, then that means size is very less and speed is very high. At that time the quantum field theory applied, which is still up to in the developing stage. Now, again understand the difference between the classical and quantum mechanics. The classical mechanics, mainly known as Newtonian physics, talks about absoluteness in measurement and result. Just try to understand what do you mean by absoluteness. Actually, when if we know the exact position and the velocity of the object, we can simply calculate the position after time t, and that is the absoluteness that present in the classical mechanics. The examples are all macroscopic objects like daily life objects, spacecraft, planets, stars and galaxies. The quantum physics, many scientists I have told you to involve, but thanks to Einstein, his contribution to quantum mechanics. Now, it talks about the probability and wave particle duality. Probability means if we do not know the present, how we can predict about the future. The quantum mechanics tells it. There is a confusion about the present, how we can predict the future. And the wave particle duality we will study in the detail in this session and the next session. There is a confusion, there is a kind of indistinguishable of physics and wave and particle, and sometime the wave and particle behave like particle and wave, that is wave particle duality we will study. And the different examples the particle involved, that are atoms, electrons, protons, other elementary particles, those are particles are very small, these are the microscopic particles. As we have discussed, when dimension is very small, then only we can apply the quantum mechanics, or there is a significance of quantum mechanics. Now, since we have to study the radiation, so first of all we must understand what is radiation. When we listen the word radiation, two things come in the mind. Number one, electromagnetic radiation, and other is the nuclear radiation. We haven't go for a study nuclear radiation, but understand little bit. When an nucleus is unstable because of the ratio of neutron and proton is greater than 1, far greater than 1, then naturally it radiates some harmful radiation of alpha, beta, gamma rays. We have studied it. Those are known as nuclear radiation. We are not going to talk about that. When we talk about the radiation here, we are going to talk about the electromagnetic radiation. So, radiation, that is electromagnetic radiation, those are the wave having two vectors, electric and magnetic. Both are vibrating perpendicular to each other and also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. It move with the velocity of light c in vacuum, and in other medium depend upon the medium density or so, it move little less velocity. All these names we are just know about this: radio waves, microwave, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays, all rays belong to the electromagnetic wave. The only difference is energy, and energy here depend upon wavelength or frequency. We will study in detail, but first of all we must understand when we talk about the radiation, what is radiation. So, with increasing wavelength, energy increases on this side, and since the frequency increases on this side and wavelength increases on this side, there is a relation between frequency and wavelength we will study. So, for the shorter wavelength, frequency is high, energy is high. For the larger wavelength, frequency is less, energy is less. And when we say the word light, light is the just a small part of this broad spectrum, that is from 7 × 10 to power 14 hertz to 4 × 10 to power 14 hertz, that we say the light. So, all radiation that belong to electromagnetic wave, but our retina is only sensitive for this range of frequency, and we will say it light. Okay. Now, the electromagnetic wave carry the energy, the radiation energy, and that value of the energy is E is equal to h nu, that is Sc upon lambda, Sc upon lambda. Now, where h is equal to 6 × 6 3 × 10 to power minus 34 joule second. Here we can say E is directly proportional to nu, and there is a relation between nu and lambda, that C is equal to nu into lambda into nu. C is the velocity of light and maximum value is this one, 3 × 10 to power 8 meter per second. So, lambda is directly proportional to 1 upon nu. Greater the lambda, smaller the nu, greater the nu, smaller the lambda. Just remember it, we will use it various places. Now, we have to talk about the black body. This term first of all introduced by Kirchhoff in 1860. So, before understanding the black body, we have to understand what happen when radiation interact with material. First of all, we have to understand the direction of motion of energy or direction of motion of radiation. If we have an object and there is surrounding, and we have to think about whose temperature is more. If the object temperature is more, then the surrounding, then the radiation emit from this object, and if the surrounding temperature is more than object, then it will absorb the radiation from the surrounding. Now, here we are taking this incident radiation on a body having energy q, then what happen? Generally 3 phenomena happen: absorption, transmission and radiation. Let A part of q absorbed in it, T part of q radiate transmitted through the body, and R part of it reflected. In bracket we have written small a, t and r, those are the coefficient, that is q upon a, r upon t and T upon Q and R upon Q. So, the total radiation which are incident on this body is sum of all these three. So, we have written Q is equal to A plus RT, or if we take Q either here, then A plus R plus T is equal to 1. Black body having a special characteristics that R is equal to 0. What does it mean? There is no reflection, and T is equal to 0, that means no transmission. So, only absorbance is here. So, if you put the value R is equal to 0, T is equal to 0, that means A, the coefficient of absorptivity, that is equal to A by Q is equal to 1. So, if A is equal to 1, that means there is only absorption, whatever the radiation fall on a body that is absorbed, the body is black body. Interesting thing that is told by the Kirchhoff, here named as Kirchhoff law, the ratio of emissive power, the ratio of the emissive power to the absorptive power for radiation of a given wavelength is same for all bodies at same temperature. Just try to understand what I am saying. And this is given by E lambda upon A lambda is equal to constant. Again, the ratio of emissive power E lambda to the absorptive power, that is A lambda, to a given wavelength. So, lambda is written here, that the function of lambda for a particular lambda is same for all bodies at same temperature. Now, all bodies are not black body, but every body absorbs some energy and radiates some energy. So, I have told earlier, if the object is having more temperature than surrounding, it will radiate, but how much time it will radiate? After some time the equilibrium situation will come, and at that time this condition will be there, the emissive power that is equal to absorptive power, or the energy which is radiated is absorbed. So, a good absorber is good radiator, or a bad absorber is bad radiator. So, black body is a theoretical thing. It was not easy to construct a instrument that behave like black body, but a scientist Ferri that designed a black body very close to black body like this. You can see here, this is a spherical, hollow spherical having a small hole, and this is the vacuumed part, blackened inside and polished from outside. So, when a radiation enter into it, because of it is blackened inside, after multiple reflection all the radiation absorbed in the black body. So, no perfect black body is possible, but Ferri designed a black body very close to the perfect black body. So, when all the radiation enter into it absorbed, it behave like perfect absorber, and when temperature of this system is going up, then surrounding the radiation comes out from this hole for all wavelength region. Remember, absorption for all wavelength region, and again the emission for all wavelength region. Now, the two scientists Lummer and Pringsheim in 1993 to 1997, that 1893 to 1897, it is a long time. They have worked a lot, they have done this experiment various times with various settings, and what they have done, they have their experimental setup is this one. They use a black body and they keep the temperature high at a particular, then this radiation comes out from the black body in the form of beam, that is actually diverging beam, and with the help of this concave mirror they make it parallel, and that radiation having a large number of wavelengths, remember, fall on a quartz prism that is placed on a rotating table. This medium is quite dispersive. When the radiation having large number of component enter it, it disperse all the component into different direction. Then with the help of this mirror, again these radiation for a particular wavelength can be focused on bolometer, which is actually an instrument to record the intensity for that wavelength. And since we can rotate this prism table, we can focus a particular wave for a particular wavelength here in bolometer. So, what they have done? They have just fixed the temperature, and for wavelength, 1 wavelength, 2 wavelength, 3 wavelength, for large number of wavelengths, they have collected the large number of data, So, this is for a particular temperature, they have changed the wavelength and collect the intensity. Again, they have again taken temperature T2, again taking the lambda, change the lambda, and so for a particular temperature, large number of lambda and corresponding intensity was recorded. Again we can see the radiation first proposed by black body, produced by black body due to a particular high temperature. Radiation beam then dispersed by prism in its various component. Then from this prism, intensity of particular wavelength can be measured by an bolometer with the help of this rotating prism and this mirror M2. This process is repeated for various temperature, whatever the range was changes time to time, and the data is collected to draw the curve between the energy, that is I you can say, energy density you can say, intensity you can say, and the wavelength at a particular temperature. So, various temperature. This curve is known as black body radiation curve. So, this curve was very important in the physics. This is the curve. So, we can see here on x axis the wavelength, on y axis the intensity or energy density. It is very clear from this figure that the radiation that is comes out for large number of wavelengths almost cover all the wavelengths, having different value of intensity, that is different thing, but having some value for all the wavelengths. So, the emission from black body at any temperature is for all wavelengths have some value. This again, this graph is not symmetric. As we increase the wavelength, the intensity increases, and for a particular temperature at a particular wavelength it is maximum, and the maximum intensity corresponding to that wavelength is known as lambda max, the maximum wavelength. So, each curve has one peak, that peak belonging to highest intensity at a particular wavelength. So, all lambda max is different. So, energy first of all increases, getting peak and then decreases. It never touch the x axis, remember. So, always have some value. Now, the total energy is equivalent to the area under the curve. We are talking about the 5000 Kelvin. So, there is a curve, and this is the x axis. Then the area between this curve and the x axis represent the total energy involved at this temperature, and by the different you can say observation, it was found that E, the total energy, is directly proportional to T to power 4. The 3000, 4000, 5000, whatever the temperature is, it can be all simply calculated that E is directly proportional to T to power 4. When this directly proportional sign was deleted, which is the proportionality constant comes here, that is known as Stephen's constant, and this law E is equal to sigma T to power 4, that is known as Stephen's law. Remember, this is for the black body. If the body is not black, there is a emissivity multiply here, E is equal to emissivity sigma T to power 4, and this sigma having some value. Now, again we can see the peak value is decreases. The lambda max for this temperature is less than this temperature, is less than this temperature, less than this temperature. That means, for each curve there is a peak, and for higher temperature peak is shifted to the lower side. Remember, if we are talking about that wavelength is decreases, that means frequency is increases. So, that means this is of high energy, this is having more energy, this is having more energy. More the temperature, the intensity belong to the lambda having more energy. So, mathematically at the temperature increases, as the temperature increases, the peak value lambda m decreases, and lambda is directly proportional to 1 upon T, or lambda mt is equal to constant, again having some value. This the famous formula that is known as Wien's displacement law. This is actually known as first Wien's law or Wien's displacement law. Again this curve never touches the x axis, means having always some value. It decreases with increasing wavelength, but never have value 0. Now, after getting this curve, all scientists have tried to explain this variation with the existing theories. Now, at that time, two classical theories was there for the energy, or you can say energy density. First was the Wien's radiation law. Now, Wien's classically derived the expression of energy per unit volume, you can say energy density, in a small wavelength range from thermodynamical argument E lambda is directly proportional to T to power 5, or E lambda, if the T goes there, it is the constant, and this is T to power minus 5. Again one can just combine with this the first one was the lambda m t is equal to again constant. So, by just adding these two, the first law and second law, we can get E lambda d lambda is equal to C 1 upon lambda to power 5 e to power C 2 upon lambda t d lambda. Here C 1 and C 2 are the constant. By the experiment, by the observation, the value of this constant was taken, and final expression was the Wien's radiation law was E lambda d lambda is equal to 8 pi h c upon lambda to power 5 e to power h c upon lambda k t. So, we can again write this formula in terms of frequency. So, we know that frequency is equal to C upon lambda, or d nu is equal to minus C upon lambda square d lambda, and E lambda d lambda is equal to minus E nu d nu. Since lambda is increasing, nu is decreasing, by putting this value here in this if we put this value here, we can just having the same formula in terms of frequency. Remember, h is the Planck constant and k is known as Boltzmann constant. Now, the second classical expression of energy or energy density, we have Rayleigh-Jean law, and this particular formula is derived with the help of thermal physics and the electromagnetic theory that was well established at that time. The Rayleigh and Jean dealt the problem of explanation of distribution of energy by using electromagnetic theory and evaluated expression for the energy per unit volume in the cavity, and that was E lambda is equal to average energy E multiply by density of standing wave, you can say GD. E lambda d lambda is equal to kT, the average energy, the classical average energy is equal to kT, that is half kT per degree of freedom, and so for 2 degree of freedom or 2 dimension it is kT, and kT into 8 pi by lambda to power 4 d lambda, or E lambda d lambda is equal to 8 pi kT upon lambda to power 4 d lambda in terms of wavelength. Again we can substitute lambda is equal to C upon nu, we can solve and again get the same formula in terms of nu. We must have both the formula because we have to use sometime this one or sometime this one, depend upon the given data. So, E nu d nu is equal to 8 pi kT upon C cube nu square dV. Now, these two laws are classical expressions at that time. All the scientists and mainly these scientists having these laws try to explain the whole thing with the help of these formula, because in graph we have seen already that value first of all increasing and then decreasing. So, that must be described with the help of this theory. The value of this E lambda d lambda or is must be increases with increase in lambda and then decreases. It should be there, but actually it does not work, and we will see in the next session how it does not work. Before that we can understand one thing more. We have written here E lambda d lambda. What do you meaning of d lambda? When we write d lambda here, that means we are writing energy in a particular range. Actually, in theoretical purpose we can say E lambda is equal to 8 pi kT upon lambda to the power 4, but experimentally there are various lambda very close to each other, very close to each other. So, how we can decide for which lambda we are talking about? So, we are always taking the strip that is vary between lambda and lambda plus d lambda. So, we are talking about the separation, or you can say the value in between lambda and lambda plus d lambda. So, we write E lambda d lambda or E nu d nu is the value that is between nu and d nu, nu and nu plus d nu. The two numerical problems we can understand very easily. Two bodies A and B have thermal emissivity given, the outer surface area of two bodies are same, the two bodies emit total radiant power at same rate. So, P1 is equal to P2 or PA is equal to PB, and same body, that is area is same. We have this formula, we can put the value of EA and EB and TA given by this with the help of this formula, that is Stephen's law, and we can solve, we can get the TB. These questions come in the examination. The second part, it asks, that is the wavelength. So, this formula is the Wien's displacement law, that is maximum wavelength of one body multiplied by temperature is equal to maximum wavelength for other body at particular temperature. So, TA we have, TB we have calculated, and one wavelength is given, and also given the difference of this maximum value are 1 micrometer. So, if you put this value lambda m A is equal to lambda m B by 3 here, we can solve it, and we can get lambda m B is equal to 1.5 micrometer. Practice it. Second problem is simple again. A body at 1500 Kelvin emit maximum energy at a wavelength 20,000 angstrom. If the sun emit maximum energy at wavelength 5500 angstrom, what would be the temperature of the sun? According to the Wien's law, lambda m T is equal to constant. So, again you can search 1, 2 here, or unprime and prime here, whatever the function you can use it. Lambda m T is equal to lambda m dash T dash, and that is equal to T dash is equal to lambda m T upon lambda m dash. We can put the given value, that is lambda m is given 20,000 angstrom, T is given 1500 Kelvin, and lambda m dash is given 5500 angstrom. This is the average value of sunlight, wavelength of sunlight. Hence, the temperature of the sun is T dash is equal to, putting the value we can get 5454 Kelvin. Okay. So, next time we will study how this classical problem haven't deal with. Okay. Thank you.